We are here back with you, our third episode for Your Choice for Better Tomorrow, covering the candidates running for Tracy Unified School District. We have very special guests along with us today. First of all, I always forget to introduce my co-host, Gurtej Atwal. Thank you, Gurtej, for being here. Nice to see you again. And we have, as I said, we have a very special guest today with us, Dr. Krishwinder Gill. She is a very known personality, just not only in the city of Tracy, but entire Central Valley. She's our pride, and we're so proud of her that she's hosting this show with us. She is honored by our former governor, Jeremy Brown, with her community work that she has done. She's a former principal of Tracy, the city of Tracy's school. She will go a little bit in detail about that, and currently she's serving as assistant superintendent in Venetia School District, I believe. That's how that's kind of credentials, that's kind of community work and her background is. So we're very honored and very glad and so thankful for her being with us tonight. Welcome, Dr. Krishwinder.
Thank you, Raj, and thank you, Gurtej. Thank you for asking me to join the show. It's a pleasure. Good evening, City of Tracy, all of our community members, Tracy Unified School District, which I'm very proud of. I am a 27, 28-year resident of Tracy, City of Tracy. As Raj shared that I used to work in Tracy, I was here working in Tracy Unified for 11 years as a teacher at Art Feeder School, assistant principal at North School, and principal at George Kelly. That was the time when Raj mentioned about Jerry Brown that I was honored. It was my pleasure, humble pleasure, to receive the Principal of the Year, California Principal of the Year award in 2011. And since 2012, I have been serving as an assistant superintendent. I was assistant superintendent for 5 years in Lambertsville Unified School District, our neighboring district. And currently I'm working in Venetia Unified School District as an assistant superintendent as well. I am still living in Tracy, so that's where my roots are, and I am very proud of Tracy. And I also want to thank my husband for allowing me, not only allowing me, but encouraging me, I should say, to be where I am today. And finally, I would want to say I'm also a Tracy Unified School District parent, because both of our daughters went through Tracy Unified School District from elementary school all the way to high school, Art Feeder School first, and then Tracy High. And I'm proud to say that the older one is doing law at Georgetown now, and the younger one is doing medicine at Pacific Northern University in Washington State. And Tracy should be proud because they are Tracy Unified products. So it's my pleasure to serve Tracy and Tracy Unified School District. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Gill. And today is Women Equality Day. I want to thank you for your leadership, and to the listeners, all the women who are leading at their house, at their front, as well as in different portfolios. So we have already had an opportunity to meet Zachary Hofford, who is an instructor. Then we also met Jeremy Silcox, who is an incumbent. Today we have an opportunity to meet a strong woman who is part of the school district since long. I welcome Jill Costa. She is a business analyst. Now I'll hand it over to Dr. Gill to please proceed.
Thank you. Ms. Costa, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. I remember the memories back from 2010 when you and I worked together in Tracy Unified School District. You were a board member, I was a principal. So I'm honored to have the pleasure to be able to speak with you again. So even though I know a lot about you, but could you, for the audience and for our community, could you tell us a little bit about yourself and your previous membership on the board as well?
Sure. My husband and I have lived in Tracy since 1995. Two of my grandchildren went through the Tracy School District, and they've both graduated now and gone on to doing different things. I have one still in college here. I've been on the board since 2010, which seems like a really long time when you look back at it, but it goes by very fast. I've worked in the community quite a bit. I'm on the Tracy Parks and Rec Commission right now, serving with Raj. I have worked in the schools, in the classrooms with the teachers and volunteering. Just a lot of different things that I've done in and around the Tracy community. I did start a 503c, but doing putting together, they were called the Treasure Box, which was food for families. If for $25, they would get enough protein and everything but their fresh vegetables that would last feed a family of four for a month. But our supplier went out of business, so we had to stop doing that. But it was a really good thing when we did it. But I've served on a lot of the different committees here in town through the school board. Right now I'm on the city liaison committee with the district. So that's sort of a brief outline of what I've been doing, but I've really enjoyed being on the school board.
Thank you. You have quite a long list of involvements you have. So we appreciate your service and your community role you're playing in Tracy. So thank you so much. So tell us a little bit about your vision as it relates specifically to Tracy Unified School District, especially with things that are happening currently in our society and with the pandemic.
Oh my, the pandemic really threw us for a loop, didn't it?
Yeah.
It seems that we started the summer thinking that we were going to be able to go back to school with the kids being in school, putting up a lot of different PPE and safety things, security things. And then a few weeks later, after we got started on that plan, we were told, oh no, you can't go back full time, maybe part time. So then we went to the part-time plan. And then just a few weeks before school was supposed to start, we were told that we were going to do distance learning. So our administration's been very busy putting together a lot of different plans for the year. And I think they did an amazing job to get it to where it is now. In fact, at our first board meeting, which was the first day of school, the superintendent said, you know, this is in all of the years that I've been an administrator, this is the first day that when we had the first day of school, I didn't have a parent call and complain. So we felt that was a pretty positive thing for distance learning. It is difficult. I know the parents get frustrated, the teachers get frustrated, and the students, they just scratch their head and go, well, I don't know what to do. It's unfortunate that we didn't start the year with enough computers for each one of the kids in the district, but then every school district in the state and most of the ones, you know, in all the other states needed computers too. So we have a promise that our manufacturer will have them to us end of September. We have 1,000 more that came in that have been put to good use. So as far as what I see for our school district, in looking at what Dr. Park, our county administrator, tells us, that it looks like if our illness affecting different people goes down another, I think we need to get to 13 per is it 13 per 10,000 or 13 per 1,000? I'm not sure, but we're almost there. So it looks like we could be going back to school with the children attending by the end of the year, hopefully. But that's what our goal is, to get the kids back by the end of the year.
Thank you. Thank you. So Jill, as future years to come forward, you know, next 4 years, because you're running as for the 4-year term, you have specific goals in mind that you would like to lead the district in to achieve those goals for our students.
Boy, That's a tough one, because we're elected by the parents and the constituents here in town, but we serve the students. Our students are what we always put first.
Correct.
And in doing that, we have to have good relationships with the teachers, with the classified employees, and with the administrators. And hopefully the students appreciate what we do too, but I think the students just sort of are oblivious and they just show up and go to school. My goal really is to try to get the three main groups within the district, the administration, the teachers, and the classified employees, to work better as a team. Sometimes I've noticed that we butt heads rather than joining hands and moving along the same path. So that's what I would like to see happen within the next 4 years.
So thank you for sharing that. So what I hear you saying is that your goal is to build a community within Tracy Unified School District,
Right.
so that we can support our students and support our parents.
Build bridges, yeah, instead of tearing them down. Absolutely.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, I have just, yeah, I'm sorry. So I have just one follow-up on the COVID. As you have explained, the district is doing whatever in its capacity. So before COVID, there was a deficit of 11.7 million. So COVID is taking its toll on the district also. So though there is federal as well as state funding to help in this duration, so what do you see how things will go in future?
As far as our budgets are concerned, right now we are working with a balanced budget. We have a rather large surplus, and that surplus is mandated by law that we have a certain percentage every year. It has to be carried over year to year according to law. But the reason that we're carrying a large amount of money this time is because we understand that there's going to be deferrals, and there could be 5 months of deferrals. So that's almost half of our budget. And we don't want to get to a point where we can't make payroll. If we can't make payroll, then we have to go out and borrow the money. And that's never a good thing to do, because if you borrow the money, you not only pay the money back, but you pay back premium for the percentage that you borrowed it at. So we have a rather large amount that we're holding as for those deferrals.
Thank you.
And Jill, I have a follow-up question as well regarding the statement that we discussed, that by end of year school is looking to open up the schools for the children. Or I'm not sure if you might have an answer or not, but just generally speaking about it, is there a plan going to be in place that there's going to be a limited number of students who would be in the classes? Because just thinking from the kids' perspective, it would be very hard to discipline little children not following the 6 feet distance, wearing the mask, not coming in touch. So I'm just can't kind of vision it if that is something the roadmap is being created.
That is a difficult thing, because I don't know if you're like me. I hug little children, and they hug their teachers, and they want to run up and say, "Oh, I've missed you," and they want to hug their friends, and that's very, very difficult to control with small children. I know that before we open the school to bring the children back, we will have a plan and a roadmap. We don't have one right now, but I'm sure that they will be working on it once we find out when we will be able to come back. But you're right. For the small children, that will be very difficult. I have 3 younger grandchildren that are in a different district, and they just started school this week, and I was chatting with them. They text me. I don't understand how little tiny kids that are like in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grade can text you, but they do. They text grandma. And so we were talking about their first day of school, and it's like they go, "But grandma, how can it be school? I didn't get to visit with my friends." So I understand what these little children, even the older children, are feeling. relationships are so important to them. So I hope we get the kids back sooner rather than later.
Right. No, kids are definitely waiting. So, and another follow-up question on that is it's a good thing that the district is in a good shape now, and we have a plan to move forward in the good direction. But
Mhm.
when these things started in May of this year, there were certain talks that the books should not be procured for the next year to save approximately $3 million. Then the bus routage should be eliminated for the students to save approximately $2 million, and maybe 100 of the employees could be laid off. But as for now, as you have shared with us, so those things are not in the talks. But at one point, district was thinking about that perspective. So as these things are inevitable, nobody knows in future, in your 4 years term, something like this happens again. So what's your opinion on these kinds of considerations?
Um, we had an agreement in place with the city that they were going to run their buses for our children. So none of the children were going to be left home without a way to get to school. So many of the routes here in the city would be taken over by the city. And the children that are out in the Delta, of course, we would go and pick them up and bring them to school. So none of our children were going to be without a way to get to school. And as far as our bus drivers not having a job, many of our bus drivers are only part-time bus drivers. They do maintenance, or they are oftentimes they work on the yard work around the schools. So they're not full-time bus drivers. There are other things that they would be doing. So that would cover most of them. Some of them even work as the janitorial type work within the buildings. So they would probably be covered, most of them. And I can't remember, what was your other question? You had a third point that you were making.
So not procuring the test books for this year.
Oh, we've already ordered our textbooks before that. So in fact, we got quite a few new textbooks this year. I can't remember exactly which ones, but we did get new AP textbooks for some of the classes because they were getting outdated. I think we had, for the high schools, we had 5 or 6 new textbooks that we had already purchased. So we did buy our textbooks.
Yeah, no, as a audience, yeah, we sincerely appreciate your resourcefulness. As you already mentioned, your goal is to do the partnership. And in these kinds of situations, yes, should be with the city, should be with the other departments, so that we just go over these kinds of situations. As this is one of the big district, approximately 14,000 students go in this district on daily basis. We have 700 school teachers, 535 classified employees. So you have to make sure that everybody is taken care of in these kinds of unforeseeable circumstances.
We certainly try, yes.
Right.
So I'll ask my next question, just off of what Cortez was talking about. Since it really seems like you're pretty involved, Jill, in the finance part of the district as well. So from knowledge perspective, we understand that all the school districts received funding from CARES Act, the Learning Loss Mitigation Funds. How is Tracy Unified using those funds to meet students' needs right now during pandemic?
Is that you're referring to the money that came from the federal government, the CARES Act?
That's correct.
Most of our money went from the CARES Act went to purchase the computers for the students.
Awesome, thank you. And are you guys also providing internet to the families? Is that also happening?
The hotspots?
Hotspots,
Yes, yes.
Awesome.
If they need a hotspot, they get a hotspot.
That's really, really good. So we are thankful as a community that Tracy Unified School District is doing that, because sometimes that becomes a big need for the families who don't have internet.
I know sometimes mine slows down. It's like, maybe I'll go get one of those hotspots.
Yeah.
Yes,
But yes, if they need the hot spot, they get the hot spot.
correct. So,
Right.
so Jill, what is being done right now? You may or may not know the details to meet the students' needs who have learning disabilities or English language learners during the virtual learning.
Okay. The English language learners, we had testing that needed to be done at the beginning of the year, and I think there were over 300 students that needed to be tested. And I think we have completed almost all of those tests. I haven't looked or shared, the teachers haven't shared with me how they're going to work with their English language learners, but I know that in the past, they've always done a wonderful job with them.
Correct.
So I'm sure that they will continue to do that. But they had to get the testing finished to say, well, this student is 100%. They can't speak English at all. Whereas maybe this student over on this side, it just needs some encouragement and a little help. So the teacher would know how to work with each one of those students. Now, your children that are the special needs children, that's really tough. I don't know how we're specifically working with them, but the special needs children that have a one-on-one aide with them, that aide is still with them on the computer.
Got
So
it.
aide has a computer and is working with that child. But I have not, they have not shared with me exactly what they're doing and what the process is for those children. So I would not like to lead you down a path that is the wrong way. So I don't know.
No, you did a great job. So thank you for sharing. That was really, really wonderful. We understand. I'm also in education, doing the same kind of work in a different district now. It is challenging, and it is, the teachers are doing amazing job in every district we know, including just Unified School District. It is very difficult to do, teach virtual learning at the same time. Difficult for parents also.
Yeah.
And students as well. So no, we know that Tracy Unified School District is doing an amazing job, because I saw your presentations, the board presentations as well. So thank you to Tracy Unified for doing what they're doing. So yeah, very nice. I'm very proud. Thank you, Jill, and thank the rest of the board members and Tracy Unified staff on behalf of our parents, students, and our community. So thank you for the service you're providing. It is amazing, and we are very appreciative of all of you.
Yes, they are doing a really great job. We're sort of off to the side. We just sort of try to support them, but our teachers and administrators and our classified staff are doing a really great job.
Thank you.
So Jill, I have one thought in mind. So as our city is growing, as you are part of the district and you are planning to be part of the district, so every year 250 to 300 students are declining since past 12 years.
Mhm.
So what do you think could be done so that the district should be incorporating? So I don't know what the reasons are behind. So if you can shed a little light over that.
We need to explain to these parents they need to have more children. Thank you, Rob. What's really happening is that's what's happening. It's not that we're losing that number of students out of the district to other districts. We don't have that many new kindergartners coming in. So what is happening is we have more 12th grade students graduating than we have kindergartners coming in. And that's what the most is of the children that we're losing. I know that we have our independent study charter school that we just started. And we started with the high school portion of it. And I think we limited it to 50 students for this first semester because it's new and we're trying to make sure that it's working. But we are allowed to bring in students from any district for the independent study portion of the charter school. So we're trying to get more students in by doing that. In fact, I heard at our board meeting last night that we had a student from the Hollywood area. His parents called us up to see if they could register him. So hopefully that we will be getting some students in that way. But other than that, we have to have more young families coming into the district that have the younger children, because that's where we're losing them, is bringing the younger ones in.
Right. No, thank you very much, Jill.
Yeah. And just at the end, Joel, just want to make sure we all mindful of the time of yours as well. So we're hitting the 45 minutes window. I think it's a good time to stop. If there's more discussion needs to be done, I think we can reschedule, or we can set up one more in the future if there would be need, if we find more questions coming from the audience. But just at the end, to wrap up everything, I just wanted to hear if you can provide a couple points or something very brief, who Jill is and why a voters needs to vote for her, so they kind of know that what you are standing up for.
Sure. Well, I have been in Tracy long enough and been on the board long enough to understand where a lot of the frustrations and the broken parts are. And in trying to work with the administration and the management of the district, we have fixed a lot of the broken parts. And bringing in someone new who does not understand what a school board member does and how they work would be difficult to fix anything within the next year or two. So hopefully you can maintain your board members that are moving forward, that are serving on the committees within the school district, and talking with the teachers and talking with the classified people and saying, how do you see that it's broken, and how can we help to fix it, and how can we mend the problems that we have, and how can we break down barriers so that we can work as a team rather than being at bumping heads instead. So that's where I see that I do the best, is bringing people together and fixing the broken pieces.
Got it. Right. That's a good answer, and kind of my takeaway is your experience, and you know the system ins and out, and you know where the gaps are to fill them in. That's what you're standing up for, and that's amazing. And we wish you a good luck. And that is what this session is all about, to make the Tracy residents and the parents and the children and the students, whoever's listening or will be listening to you in the future, so they can know about it. So that's all. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Jill.
Thank you very much, Jill. And at the end again, so today is Women Equality Day, and we thank all the women around us, and thank you both for your leaderships, and thank you for joining us today. We'll see you all again. Thank you.
Thank you.